And for more on the growing field of GOP candidates and the big names and the big money behind them, we're joined by Marc Short, former Chief of Staff for Vice President Mike Pence. Marc, good to have you back on the show. So do you think Ron DeSantis will score any points by announcing his run for president on Twitter with Elon Musk?
I don't know. I think it's a novel approach, and I certainly agree with much of what Ken said. And I think that Governor DeSantis is fortunate to have Ken in his corner. He's a long-known, well-known conservative. But I think the challenge for the governor is, yeah, he does have a good record in Florida, and I think he does enter this with a big war chest. But ever since the discussion about the presidential politics and the scrutiny you get at a federal and national level, you've seen him continue to slide, and I think it's been a rough couple months. And I think the level of scrutiny you get, it's like somebody said, when you enter a presidential campaign, it's like a full-body MRI. Right. And I think that's what Governor DeSantis is experiencing at this point is just a much different level of scrutiny that we've seen a lot of governors in the past be put forward as people who would be the primary candidate, whether or not that was Jeb Bush in 2016 or Scott Walker in 2016. But when you get to the national level and national scrutiny, it's a whole different level.
Right. You're a veteran of that. If you could just dive a little bit deeper on that, the difference between, I mean, what it's like to run for governor, to run for Senate, to run for Congress, and running for president, which Mike Pence did before joining the ticket as vice president. I mean, the level of scrutiny, the ability to retail politic, which people have already been knocking Ron DeSantis on his inability to hold a conversation of, longer than a few seconds with people on the ground. It's hard. It is very, very hard, and what is expected of you is much higher and at a different level completely than what he ever did running for governor.
Well, Elizabeth, Mike has not run for president before. When he was picked to be the running mate for Donald Trump, he was serving as governor. He had not entered any race. But, I do think that when you run for governor and you run for re-election as governor, there's a different level in the state media and what they cover. And I think that Governor DeSantis, much of the commentary has been he's been very successful in a bubble of a lot of social media. And so therefore, I think he is comfortable going on Twitter with Elon Musk. That is consistent with where he's been communicating with his followers throughout his term as governor. But the question is, can you continue to live in that bubble and not expose yourself to mainstream media and the questions that come with it? And there's just a different level of questions and scrutiny that mainstream media bring to the equation when you decide you're going to be a candidate for a national office. And in many cases, I think certainly that's appropriate. And I think that so far, that's been a rude awakening for his team.
Can big money really grease the skids, so to speak, catapult somebody, give them a little bit of momentum in those early states? I'm wondering especially about Tim Scott, who's got a big war chest and is strong in those early states of Iowa and New Hampshire. He spent a lot of time there. He's from South Carolina. Is that enough to give somebody who's polling at like 1 or 2% some momentum and become a player?
I think it's a huge help. I don't necessarily think it's sufficient. In other words, I think it's necessary to have those resources, but are the resources alone sufficient to catapult you up? I think the answer to that is no. And I think today, candidly, more and more people tune out television commercials. So there's still a huge industry in people making money off of paid media commercials for candidates. But there's so many other ways to communicate, and I think that the candidates who are successful in finding those different mediums, and again, part of that may be Ron DeSantis' strategy with Twitter, I think are going to be those candidates that are more successful.
All right, 10 seconds. If you were advising Ron DeSantis, what would you tell him in advance of his live Twitter conversation with Elon tomorrow night?
Well, I think that that conversation could go well. You want your first conversation, your first imprint to be a good one. I think the challenge has been the notion of being a candidate has been out there for 2 months, and therefore the narrative around him has already begun to take shape that he's not yet ready to take this national lead.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.